Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today we will get details about the financial and tax assistance programs that are available at Quincy Community Action Programs. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, cloudy and cold, 24 degrees right now. Might get up to about 30 later on this afternoon, but the wind will make it feel colder than that. Look at the low tonight. We're down into the teens, and really a sunny but a windy and cold week coming up, with tomorrow more sunshine, but still that biting wind, with highs tomorrow only into the upper 20s, even chillier here on Wednesday. Lots of sunshine, but again, that wind making it feel pretty brisk. Partly sunny, a bit warmer on Thursday, with a high Thursday around 30 degrees. But again, sunny, windy, and cold for the rest of the week. We're missing that big storm heading just south of us. 24 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, the Quincy City Council will hold their first meeting of the new year tonight. The council will convene at 6:30 in the Great Hall at Quincy City Hall with a pretty light agenda to start the new year. Among the items councilors will debate tonight include the nomination and the election of the president of the City Council, adopting the 2025 City Council meeting schedule, adopting the 2025 political calendar, and also accepting a $5,000 donation to the Friends of Wollaston Beach from the Copeland Family Foundation. Also tonight, councilors will be honoring two firefighters, Stephen Sweet and Sean Breslin. State Senator John Keenan of Quincy did not vote to re-elect Karen Spilka as president of the state Senate last week. In a message, Keenan said that he voted present because he feels the Senate needs to be more participatory, open, and transparent. Keenan said changes are needed, citing the fact that there have been significantly fewer roll calls, routinely missed deadlines, failure to adopt joint rules, waived rules, passed bills beyond the end of formal sessions with limited opportunities for members to participate fully, and have often been at odds with members of the House. Keenan said the Senate's been less transparent and connected with the public. Keenan did congratulate Spilka on her re-election as Senate president, said he hopes for improvements this year. The MBTA says it's kept its promise of eliminating all speed restrictions on all subway lines by the end of 2024. In a video message, the T says that as of December 21st, 2024, there were no slow zones on any of the rapid transit lines after completing their track improvement program that began in November of 2023. On the Red Line, the T says for the first time in over 20 years, all speed restrictions were eliminated as of the end of November 2024, reducing the round-trip travel time by 18 minutes. In October of 2023, there were over 100 slow zones on the Red Line. The T says they'll be adding new cars to the Red Line fleet early this year to increase service. MBTA General Manager Phil Eng says this year the T will be focusing on improving their switching mechanisms. A community meeting will be held tomorrow regarding the plans to build a new Squantum Elementary School. That meeting will be held tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. in the Squantum School gym. It'll cover topics including an update on the new school design, details about infrastructure work that's starting this month around the school, and what to expect this year. The City Council recently approved almost $109 million for the new school and $4.5 million for updated electrical and communications infrastructure around the new school. Construction on the new school is scheduled to begin as soon as school lets out in June. The Norfolk County Registry of Deeds 2024 annual holiday food drive being called a big success. Register of Deeds Bill O'Donnell says the drive collected over 200 pounds of food this year, which was donated to food pantries all across Norfolk County, including Interfaith Social Services here in Quincy. O'Donnell extended his thanks to everyone who contributed to the drive and reminded residents that although the drive is over, the need for donations continues. Project Bread says that due to increasing costs for housing and food, Almost 18% of Massachusetts households are food insecure, and almost 23% of households with children are food insecure. Now, dozens of people braved the icy waters of Quincy Bay this past Saturday for the Atherton House School PTO's annual Polar Plunge. Participants gathered at the Housneck Public Landing right at the Quincy Yacht Club for the annual Freezin' for a Reason plunge. Every year, the PTO sponsors this plunge to raise money for extra activities at the Atherton Howe Elementary School. Plungers ran into the frigid waters with hundreds of spectators cheering them on. Plungers did earn an I Survived the Plunge t-shirt, and everybody was treated to some baked goods and some warm refreshments. The plunge was monitored by the Quincy Police Department's Marine units and Brewster ambulance personnel. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Quincy Community Action Programs, financial and tax assistance programs. We'll learn all about them next. Welcome back. One of the top probably New Year's resolutions every year is I want to save money. I want to be better with my finances. I want to make more money for the year. Well, the folks at Quincy Community Action Programs Financial Reach Center can help with that. So Karen Gurry and Teresa Whitaker are here to give us all the details. Ladies, welcome and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, great to have you both here. I appreciate the opportunity to learn about QCAP's financial programs, Teresa, and in particular the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. It's going to be tax time in the not too distant future, right?
It is,
Yeah.
yep,
But
it is.
Before we talk about that, what are the financial programs that are available at QCAP?
So we provide what's called the Financial Reach Center. So that's a program, it's actually funded by the United Way. It's a financial opportunity center, one of a few here in the state of Massachusetts, where we have a financial and career coach, which is Karen. She helps clients with financial and career goals. So for example, if a client is looking for ways to save money or budget or work on their credit, or if they're looking for employment and need help with like basic job skills or resumes or interview preparation, we can connect clients with Karen to help them with that.
Okay. Is REACH an acronym, Teresa? Does it stand for something? Or?
It does not, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it's just putting your finances within reach, I guess.
Pretty much.
Okay. How long has this program been around at QCAP? Do you know, even just roughly?
I think it's been around for about 12 years.
Has it been that long?
No, the fall of 2014.
Oh, all right. So it's 10, 11 years. Okay.
Close,
So
yes.
very good. Are there other, now the tax program, I'm assuming, is a big part of that.
It is. So yeah, so that is a seasonal program.
Right.
So it generally operates from February to April. So this year we're starting on February 3rd.
Okay.
And it will go until about April 15th.
Yep.
Yep.
It's coming up.
It is, yep.
And it's a way for folks to get help preparing their income tax returns, right?
Yes, so it's primarily for clients who are low income. So for this year, a single client or a couple who is married who are filing jointly, their income has to be $67,000 or under to
Right.
qualify. They also have to be a full-time resident of Massachusetts to qualify. And we basically just do basic tax returns. There are some limitations to those who can get their taxes done with us. Like, for example, we can't help people who have investment properties or who own a business with employees. So there are some limitations to who we can help.
Okay, but if they do qualify, it's free.
It is a free program, so it's
yeah.
a great way for those who especially can't afford like a paid tax preparer.
Yes.
You know, we help them get connected to earned income tax credits or other tax credits that they might be eligible for.
Which change every year too.
Yes.
And are being updated this year, as a matter of fact, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, these are done by volunteers, volunteer tax preparers, right?
Yes, so we recruit volunteers starting November, so it's mostly people in the community, college students or people who just want to contribute their time to give back to the community. So we start our training for the volunteers in January.
Okay.
So actually tomorrow night we have our very first training.
Okay.
So we provide training on Massachusetts state income taxes and federal income taxes and other tax laws that they have to know. And then they have to take an exam to become certified by the IRS before they can actually sit down with the client to start preparing taxes.
Okay, and who can be a volunteer in the VITA program?
Anyone over the age of 18
Okay.
and who has a general interest in wanting to help out
Yep.
and, you know,
Don't need to be a CPA? Or,
No, it doesn't have to be CPA
Okay.
or a paid tax preparer. They can just, you know, anyone who's generally interested in helping the community.
Yeah, and you'll train them.
We will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you get repeat volunteers every year?
We do.
I'm
We
sure.
have a dedicated volunteers team that comes back every year, and we're very grateful for them. And we also welcome new volunteers throughout the whole season as well.
I was going to ask if somebody wants to be a volunteer, what do they do? How do they do that?
So they can contact me. I'm the program specialist for the VITA program,
Okay.
so I can give them the general information. They can call me. My telephone number is on our website,
Yep.
and it's 617-657-5345 is the general number.
Okay, or email you at taxes@qcap.org?
Yep, email too, or even come in person to our office at 1509 Hancock Street.
Okay, all right. And now you need to schedule an appointment, I'm assuming, to get your taxes done, if you do qualify.
Yes, so it is by appointment only.
Okay.
Generally, we do it twice a week. So for this upcoming season, it's going to be on Tuesday nights and Saturdays and by appointment.
Okay, very good. And how many volunteer preparers would you like to have?
Generally, we get anywhere from 10 to 20.
Oh, really? Okay. How many do you have right now?
I believe we have about probably 20.
Okay, all right. But always room for more.
Oh, yes, we always welcome more volunteers.
Sure, absolutely. I do notice that in your flyer here it also says either the income requirements or folks who've qualified for fuel assistance this season.
Yeah, so there is an exception. So if there is a client who is over income
Yes.
generally, but if they were also a fuel assistance client or energy client for this past season,
Okay.
then they can also get their taxes done for free by QCAP.
Okay. And are these just simple returns, Teresa, that we're talking about?
Yeah, we don't do anything complicated. Anything that's out of reach for us, we will refer them to another organization that could help them or to a paid tax preparer.
Oh, okay, very good. I know you also have an adult basic education program, right, at QCAP?
We do, yes. So we provide English as a second language classes
great,
and
yeah.
high-set classes for people who want to go on and get their general education diploma.
Yes, it's great. It's a great service. I'm sure you're seeing an influx of folks interested
Yes.
in that, especially this time of year, right?
Yes.
Trying to start out to get it done by the end of the year, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there volunteers in that program as well?
We always welcome volunteers for that program, especially for tutors to help the students practice their conversation skills or help somebody who might be struggling in subjects like math or English.
Sure. Now we move on to our coach. Put me in, Coach. Karen Gurry, the financial coach at QCAP. You are the one who deals directly with the folks who come in, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So tell me a bit about what is it you do at QCAP.
Okay. So my role as a coach, my role is as a financial and career coach. So basically, the client will bring to us whatever they want to have happen in their lives. Again, we're a financial opportunity center. We're hoping to get people to a more financially stable point in their lives. And so we always ask what our clients' goals are. You know, it might be, I want to, learn how to manage my money better or how to make a budget. Some people have never created a budget in their whole lives. And, it's, our, income is a scarce commodity for a lot of us. And so we want it to work for us. And sometimes, life just gets so busy, we just kind of, it's catch as catch comes. And so we really want people to focus on where is their money going to, and is it going to the things that are most important to them. You want to fund the things that are most important in your life. And so, if you make it a focus, then you can really start to see some changes. And so hopefully it goes to what is important to you. Some people, they want to save money. We really want to focus on an emergency savings at least, because we know that financial emergencies happen. It's not a question of if, it's when. And we don't want that next financial emergency to then, be an additional burden or put somebody into more debt.
Yes.
So if we have a little bit of a cushion, then okay, that next financial emergency, we can absorb it and then move on and start rebuilding that emergency savings.
Okay, so say I'm a client coming in to see you for the first time,
Yes.
Karen, and take me to the process. How does it
Sure,
work? Yeah.
sure. Well, generally I will do an orientation with everyone because we want our clients to know what the program is and isn't about.
Great.
It's all about choice. So I do an orientation, I talk a little bit about, we consider it a partnership. So it's not like a client will come in and say, okay, just tell me what to do. It's, I ask them, well, what is it that you want to have happen? What are some of your goals? One of the most important enrollment sheets that I ask people to fill out is a goal or a vision sheet. What is
Okay.
your goal for your, or your vision for your life? And then that gives me the indication is what's important to that person.
Right.
And then we work on that and say, okay, let's start with, if there's 5 goals,
Yep.
it might be I want to work on credit and debt and budgeting. Okay, what's the most important thing? Because
Okay.
when we work on so many things all at once, it can feel overwhelming.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I usually say, well, what's the most important or pressing thing for you? So if you say, well, my credit is really bad and it's preventing me from moving forward. So that might be where we start.
That's number one. Okay.
And then what we do is we break it down into more manageable pieces because even that one thing can seem overwhelming. So it's not like getting from here to here in one step. It's let's go from here to here.
Right.
And then from here to here and
What's
move
so?
on.
Yeah. Why is my credit so poor? Right.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
Exactly, because
that
there
not
are
being so good. Yeah.
Right. There are rules and tools that people can learn that can help. It's something that we haven't been teaching out there, so a lot of us don't know what those rules are. So we're making decisions based on information that we don't have.
Yeah, you and I were speaking before the program about how we were woefully unprepared to enter a financial adulthood, years
Exactly.
ago, right? It was not part of the curriculum,
Right.
at least in the public education. It's getting to be more so.
They are starting to put it into public education, but
Yeah.
for those of us who've long since graduated, I mean, I didn't so much as know how to, balance a checkbook.
Exactly. That's a great example. Not that people even use them anymore, but back then, what's
Right,
this? What's
right.
this? Yeah.
Or when I, gone into college and, my first credit card.
Yes.
And a lot of people get into credit card debt because they don't know, how do I manage through this?
Yes.
It looks like free money, but that free money comes back around,
Because they were never taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, there are things that people can do to make their credit and to improve their credit, and it's important to know those rules so that we can make more informed choices going forward.
Who is kind of your typical client, if you will? Who are the folks that you're seeing most?
So it's a bit of a range.
Is it?
I mean, we tend to see more lower to moderate income people, but one of the great things that we love about our funding source through the NWA is that there aren't really a lot of criteria for people to join the program. So there's no income requirements, there's not any geographical requirements. So people can self-select and say, this is a program that I think will help me. So we see anything from, age ranges.
Yeah.
It kind of runs the gamut.
Okay.
It could be individuals, it could be couples. Sometimes couples haven't really had those those financial discussions with each other.
It's a major source of conflict in many relationships.
Exactly.
Is money, right? Yeah.
It's a very stressful
Yeah.
topic, and a lot of people don't know how to talk about
Yes.
it with each other. And a lot of people, there's a lot of judgment surrounding it. Not only do we judge ourselves, but other people are judging us, and that's one thing in our program. We don't judge.
Yeah.
We say, sometimes people say, oh, I wish I didn't do this, or I shouldn't have done that. And I say, that's in the past, we learn from that,
Yeah.
and we move forward.
Yeah, exactly. It's a generational thing too, isn't it? Money was not talked about in households
Not at all.
years ago, and probably still today to some extent.
I would say so,
Yeah.
and that kind of puts us behind the 8 ball a little
Exactly,
bit.
yeah.
But also sometimes we learn without really realizing that we're learning. Sometimes we're watching what our parents do or watching what other people in our lives do, and sometimes we're learning good habits, and sometimes we're learning bad habits just because that's what we're exposed to. And so we want to be a trusted source of information and say, what can be done here? What would be helpful? What are my choices? What are my options? And
Right.
that's what I want to do, is give people options and say, well, here's some things that you can do. And then I want, it's a partnership. I'm not going to tell you what to do, even though sometimes people want me to.
Just here, fix this.
Yeah,
Karen.
exactly.
Just take all my stuff and fix it.
I'll be back in a couple of hours. Tell me how I'm doing.
That's right. Doesn't work that way.
It really
No,
doesn't. No, it's a process. So, so what I want to do is, kind of give the information and say, well, here's some ways that you can get there, and then we process through that together, and it's a partnership. So, our clients are very qualified, capable,
Yeah.
resourceful people.
Yeah.
And they just need some
the skills,
support
right?
and the skills and the information.
Right.
And so they bring something to the table, and I bring something to the table, and we partner together. And that's one of the things that I love about this role too, is I learn a lot from our clients too.
I would
Because
think, yeah.
they tell me a lot of things like, oh, I didn't know about that resource, or
Right.
oh, that's a great idea. And so I'm always learning constantly from them as well.
It's important to point out that you don't tell them what to do. Right?
Right.
You don't advise them on any financial
Right.
matters.
Right.
You just
Right.
offer all options.
Right. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm
Right.
a financial coach. So I'm not here to sell any products. I'm not here to tell people here's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Our services are free, and we just want to give
Which is
people
key.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because there's a lot of predatory companies out there that will
Yes.
say, we can fix everything for you. It'll be quick, it'll be easy. Oh, and by the way, you'll pay us a lot of money
It's
for it.
going to cost you, yeah.
Right. And oftentimes they oversell what they can do
Yeah.
and underproduce results.
Right.
And a lot of times the things that they say that they can do, you can actually do for free for yourself.
Yes.
Or with the help of a free coach.
Yes, yes. And they don't learn the skills that they need to not repeat the mistakes that they made in the past by just paying somebody to do it for them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another component of it, is that we basically want to work our way out of a job. I'm hoping to educate people in the point where they can figure out, okay, here's my path forward,
Yeah.
and then use that information so in the future if something similar comes up, they say, oh, I know how to manage through this because I did it before.
Yeah.
And so
Karen told me.
right. So
Yeah.
we want to empower our clients to to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah, using the example that you gave of I want to improve my credit score, about how long would you spend with a client, and how do you know when you've succeeded?
Well, we tend to monitor their credit report.
Okay.
We pull our clients' credit reports. When we do it, it doesn't hurt their credit score. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's not going to hurt my credit score." Not. We
It's
do
but a
a
soft
soft inquiry,
credit inquiry,
which
yeah.
means that it's just for informational purposes only.
Right.
When you apply for credit, that's a hard inquiry.
Okay.
So that can hurt your credit score. But if we're doing it, it's just for informational purposes. So we monitor it. We look at the information, and we determine, where are we at?
Yeah.
Are we at the point where we need to remediate something that happened in the past?
Right.
Is it something that we need to make sure it doesn't get worse in the future?
Yeah.
Or are we in credit building mode? Like, okay, I don't have enough credit, but here's how to build it. And then hopefully we get to the point where maintenance mode, okay, it's good, but let's keep the focus there to keep it where
Yes.
where we want it to be.
Yeah, and so about how long would that process take? I mean, it's probably different for everybody.
It really
Yeah.
is different
Okay.
depending on the circumstances. A lot of times people will ask a question, and a lot of times my answer will be, it depends.
Okay.
It depends on each individual circumstances and each person's
Yeah.
situation.
Is there a time limit at QCAP for how long you'll spend with somebody as a coach?
That's a great question. Actually, there isn't.
Okay.
Sometimes people, they see me just for a few times, and that's all they really needed.
yeah.
And other people, it may be, years that we work
Is that
with them.
right? Okay.
So sometimes, because when we're working on a series of goals, it could be short term, or it could be long term, or it could be a combination of the two.
Right.
So as we're working through one goal, and maybe have some success here, then we move on to something else. So it can really be long term as well.
Sure. And Teresa, it must be gratifying to see folks come through this program and come out on the other side achieving their goals.
It is. It is rewarding to see somebody come back and say, "Oh, I got a job," and they share us, with their experience, and it's great to know that we can help them, get ahead, especially with the way that the economy has been the last couple of years.
Absolutely. Are there other aspects to the Financial Reach Center at QCAP that we should know about?
So if they're not already familiar with Quincy Community Action as a whole, if they're not familiar with the other programs and services, we can definitely connect them to, if they need help with housing,
Yes.
or child care, or the food center,
Yes.
or Head Start, or any other community resources in the area.
Okay. The Energy Assistance Program I know is very
Yes.
big, especially this time of year as well. So, and your physical offices are where?
We're located at 1509 Hancock Street, and our department is on the second floor.
Okay. And you're open for in-person appointments?
We are, yes.
Okay.
We're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay. And is there a virtual aspect to QCAP at all? Still for,
Yeah, so we do still have some remote options available. So for clients, we don't have a residency restriction for the Financial Reach Center.
Okay.
So it's
Great.
open to anyone either in the Quincy area or outside of the Quincy area, and if they're not able to come in person to our office, then I can schedule either a virtual orientation, or if they prefer an in-person, we can schedule that too.
Okay, that's important because some of the other programs are regional, community dependent, right? But not the financial reach.
Yeah,
Center.
so we're the exception for the other QCAP programs. Like
Yes.
our energy program is restricted by certain towns that they cover, but we're open to helping anybody in the Massachusetts area.
Fantastic. Anything else either one of you would like to add?
Well, I just would echo that sometimes with the virtual opportunities, sometimes people, they have a lunch break and they don't have the time to get to the
Sure.
Quincy Center
Yeah.
and to have that meeting. We can just do a lunch meeting, or maybe before work, after work, they have a few minutes here and there that they can piece together.
Okay.
So adding, we have a lot of people that do really like that opportunity.
I'm sure.
And it, we try and give them as many options as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you both. Really appreciate the opportunity to learn about the programs, and hopefully we've got some good information out.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today is actually going to be about the warmest day of the week, believe it or not. A lot of clouds around, it'll be breezy, but a high around 30 this afternoon. Then we head the basement tonight with lows dropping off into the teens. That's really the forecast for the rest of the week. Partly sunny, windy, and cold. Daytime highs upper 20s, nighttime lows in the low teens. Thanks again to Teresa Whitaker and Karen Gurry for joining us today from QCAP. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching Friday here in the program. Quincy's Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Officer, Damien Utar, will be joining us. Meantime, check our website anytime. It's qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there with news, information, video on demand, live streaming, much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.